Welcome back to the show. This is Outside the Glass. This is Joel. I'm Tyler. We'll be your hosts. We're going to deep dive into the expertise of Mike Grier, GM of the Sharks, shaping his team into being trouble for the rest of the league for the foreseeable future. We're going to talk about that and more on today's episode. Stick around.
Welcome back to the show. This is Outside the Glass podcast, rivals on the ice and one community in the seats. As Tyler just mentioned, we are going to take a deep dive into the career of Mike Grier. As a GM, it has been a short-lived career, but a memorable one. We will also take a look at the Colorado Avalanche, the juggernauts of the Central Division and the top seed in the entire NHL. What's to be expected with this team going forward with a lot of changes in the franchise, a different GM in place for Colorado. But with that being said, let's take a look at Mike Grier, the puppet master of the NHL. He has only been in the league since 2022, manning the Sharks roster. Mike Grier started his career in Boston College, where he played college hockey for Massachusetts, and then moved on and was drafted by the St. Louis Blues in 1993. Ninth round pick. Mike Grier had a long career where he was a tough forward and boasted decent stats there on the bottom six. He mainly played for the Oilers, and then after he retired, Mike Grier moved into executive roles as a scout, a pro scout, and then also moved his way all the way into the position of GM of the Sharks, where he is now. A couple things about Mike Grier is he is the first American-born African-American to ever make it to the NHL and into a role of GM on any team. So that is a huge accomplishment for Mike Grier. And with that being said, Mike Grier has a family that is also known for creating dynasties, where his brother and his father are both in high positions, GM roles within the NFL. His father, Bobby Grier, if I'm correct, he was in a GM role when they drafted none other than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. So, with that being said, Mike Grier has it in his DNA to captivate, calculate, and execute a dynamic roster, starting with the lineage from his uncle, his father, and now him and his brother.
Yeah, he drafted J.J. Watt, too, for the Texans.
Yeah.
I mean, those are...
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's Bobby Grier, who drafted for J.J. Watt, obviously. But no, yeah, it's a strong family. I mean, in sports in general, it's kind of cool to see them spread across different sports, too. I think that's really neat. Seeing Mike Grier, who played in the NHL, GM in the NHL, and then Bobby Grier in the NFL. So I mean, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
And full transparency, I've been digging in and looking at Mike Grier, and it's interesting that the majority of his family went the route of professional football, and he picked up hockey in Massachusetts, played for Boston College, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now, Mike Grier might have learned a lot of this from his siblings and his older brother and his father. And we were discussing this off air, that it seems that he has created this team based off of three main pillars of success. Do you want to talk about the first pillar of success?
Yeah. So I think you got to start with the way he drafts. He doesn't really mess around. He takes the best player, but in all honesty, the best player is kind of a systematic fit as well. So yes, he takes the best player, but he just kind of has put himself in the position to be able to take the best player that fits into the role that he needs. For
Right.
example, drafting Macklin Celebrini, who is taking over the league by storm. He's captain of Team Canada, Worlds. But I don't know. Maybe he is the captain in the next Olympics. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby. I think it. He he has all the right to it, but I mean, we don't even know if he'll be playing in the next Olympics. And I mean, Macklin Celebrini, he's already shown that he has the leadership tangibles. But he didn't stop there. I mean, he's bolstering this team with first round draft picks galore.
Yeah, absolutely. And in starting in 2022, he's pretty much picked twice out of every first round since 2022. And he's got a first overall in Celebrini. And we know how first overalls make a huge impact.
Yeah.
He's also got a second overall with Ivar Stenberg.
Yeah.
And so this is shaping to be, as we've mentioned before, just an insane roster with really high picks.
Michael Misa was the second overall as well.
Right.
And then Keaton Verhoff, ninth. So, I mean, Will Smith, fourth.
And then they steal, what is it, Ryan Lynn? They steal him.
Yeah, that's
I mean, he didn't even get picked top 10. And, I mean, he could have gone top 10. So you've got a potential top 10 guy that they got to pick after they already acquired Verhoff. So that's pretty insane.
Yeah, and they can risk it. They can make that gamble on Ryan Lynn. Like a lot of other teams, they're like, I don't know if I want to make that gamble on a smaller defenseman. And they were able to. I mean, they've already got Sam Dickinson. They have some veteran pieces that they've brought in to be able to give Ryan Lynn the breathing room to develop and craft his game and get strong in the areas that he can be strong in, and which is offensively talented defensemen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have all these young guys developing together that are around the same age. And not only that, they're all on their entry-level contracts. We'll see if they let some of these players play out their entire entry level. I doubt it.
Yeah,
but as of now, they've got premier talent with no cap problems.
Yeah. And then they have prospects galore as well. I mean, they're just stacked from the top to the bottom. And I don't know, their fans are loving it.
Which brings us to our next pillar, prospects.
Yeah.
What are some of the top prospects that are waiting in the wings for the Sharks, but we haven't quite seen them on the ice yet?
So, I mean, I guess the number one would be Chernyshov. He's already got some NHL time. He played a bit last season, coming up for injuries and just, the typical stuff. But his estimated arrival is late 2026, early 2027. And he should be full-time 2027, the whole season of the whole 2 seasons of 2027. He should be playing for the tail end of this one and the beginning of next one. He's already playing in the NHL, producing in the AHL, producing in the AHL with Barracuda. His last season, 28 games played, 9 goals, 10 assists. No, that's what he did in the NHL. 28 games, 9 goals, 10 assists. Sorry, I was mistaken. But he should come in and slot right into at least a bottom or maybe even middle 6 role right away.
Yeah. And remind me again, what was the goaltender that is so promising for the Sharks?
You'd be thinking about Joshua Ravensbergen.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
Good name. It's a fun name. I mean, goalies always have the best names, They really do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, he's obviously goaltenders are typically later arrivals out of the draft. But I mean, what they spent was it a second? Yeah, second. No, so no, first overall or first round pick on him.
First,
They
yeah,
drafted him 30th overall.
yeah.
So they obviously have a lot of insight on him, hopes on him. But he's slotted to join in 29-30 season
Well,
probably.
I mean, and like you mentioned before, because they have so many top picks, so many great
Yeah,
prospects, they can go ahead and take a goaltender in the first round. They
yeah,
can take a chance on him. They can take a chance on Ryan Lynn, and it's not going to bite them too bad if they don't pan out to be the players they are thinking. But if it does pan out, I mean, you could have a serious
mhm,
goaltender to mesh in with the defense they're building, and the forward group, I think, is a real highlight.
yeah,
Although they do have a lot of talent coming in on the defensive side, but I mean, yeah,
yeah. Referencing the Avs for a second, Chris McFarland and Joe Sakic always talked about how they'd always trade away like their first round picks, second round picks, and stuff like that. But they talk about more darts to throw in the later rounds because sometimes you can get those steals in the later rounds. I mean, think of Kucherov; he was a second round pick. Um, so they like to throw as many darts as possible. But then you have Grier here throwing darts at first round picks. You know, like he's throwing multiple darts a draft in the first round, which is
yeah.
outstanding.
And it seems like Greer, it from a fan's perspective, if I'm going through the painful years of getting 50 points, what?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. My phone cut out for a second.
Oh, okay.
Uh you were talking about the painful years of Sharks fans.
Yes. So if I'm a fan of the Sharks and I am watching them through these painful years and Greer comes in, you want somebody like that to maximize
Yeah.
those years where you get the top picks that could define your franchise for the next 10 years. I mean, just look at the Penguins. I mean, they almost went bankrupt. They almost had to move their entire franchise, and then just so happened they
Mhm.
got Sidney Crosby. The rest is history.
Yeah.
And that was a defining moment. As long as Celebrini and company stays healthy, I think that would be a defining moment for the
Yeah.
Sharks making a rebound here.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a little off air that a lot of it's luck, winning the lottery, staying up high in the drafts, things like that. But he's also created a lot of this luck. Look at the Timo Meyer blockbuster trade that he did. He got a first round pick from an aging contract, and he drafted Quentin Musty. And then you look at the Carlson deal. Carlson was coming off of a phenomenal season, 100-point season, Norris Trophy winning caliber season. But he saw something there, moved on from that deal, cleared up cap, and brought in Sam Dickinson to replace him, who's a very
Yeah.
good prospect for them.
Yeah,
So, I
absolutely.
mean, he's pulling out of these deals at the perfect time to create young players. Yes, that Carlson season, it wasn't the Sharks' best season as a whole. So it's not like they just won the cup and then trade him off and then move on and win the cup again. But still, I mean, you're gaining value out of aging deals, and that's the
Yeah.
best you can do. And good value, first round picks on aging
Yeah,
deals. So,
absolutely.
I mean, it's really, really awesome to see what he's doing.
Why don't we shift gears and look at the final pillar of success that Mike Grier has implemented? Why don't we take a look at some of the additions he's brought in that haven't been through the draft, through free agency, and through trade? What are some of the key guys he's brought in to ensure that the young players have veteran presence and that they can be competitive now?
Yep. So the year that they brought in Will Smith, they brought in Tyler Toffoli to help develop Will Smith, and then Alexander Winberg. They're both on the team still, and they're both contributing significantly. Barclay Goodrow brought him in same season. And then when they brought in Dickinson, they brought in Dmitry Olov to help ease him into his role as the future number one defenseman. on the team, theoretical future number 1 defenseman. And they also brought in this past season Jacob Trouba, who is that's kind of like that safety net for Celebrini. Like, you're not going to want to mess with Celebrini whenever Jacob Trouba is waiting for you on the other side.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I don't know.
I like the Trouba signing. I don't know yet about the Darnell Nurse.
Yeah.
I felt like that's one of the moves I am still questioning.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Darnell Nurse is known for, he's kind of a defensive liability at times.
Yeah.
But then his offense isn't great. I mean, how many points did he have last season? Like 25 or something?
Was it 25? I mean, it could have been on that team last season, in all honesty.
I have it right here. 24 points.
What?
24 points.
Okay.
So I am a little skeptical of taking on that contract of Darnell.
Yeah. And
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. And Darnell Nurse does have more to offer. He does. He has been better than that in the past, and the Oilers just struggled last season. So we'll see. We'll see how that one shapes out. Only time will tell on that one. Grier has been pretty smart about his moves. So,
and he was a pro scout, so maybe he's thinking, well, he was playing for the Oilers. They were a liability defensively at times anyway. Maybe he's got a vision for Darnell Nurse that I don't know. I'm sure he does, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
As of now, I don't like it. But it didn't matter where Darnell Nurse landed. I wouldn't have liked it for that team. So just so happens to be the Sharks.
Who knows? Maybe we'll look like stupid for questioning it. He goes out 100 points.
100 points. Right. Yeah. Gets the Norris. Who knows?
No, we'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell on that one. All right. So you got anything else on this?
I was going to say that Mike Grier is developing a talent pool that should be of depth and of, they should be competitive for a long time. And as we've mentioned before, the feeling here is that they're creating a dynasty.
Yeah.
They're creating like the 2.0 version of the Malkin, Letang, and Crosby era. And it's going to be fun to watch. I'm a little nervous as a Blues fan, so we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, they're going to give us trouble for years. If you're a playoff team, it's gonna be rough. It really is. And I mean, the Avs already have a little bit of history of it. The Sharks knocked them out. I want to say, what year was that? I can't remember what season it was. Maybe the 2018-19 season. They knocked them out. I don't really remember, but yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch though, for sure.
Yeah. So let's end it here. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Avalanche. Will they be at the top of the league or will they topple? Stay with us, and we will be right back after this.
And we're back. Colorado's biggest weakness might not be what you think it is. In this segment, we're going to talk about the Avs. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad, and then we're going to give our predictions on how we think they're going to close the season. We're going to do this for every team in the Central Division over the next few weeks, and let's see where they all shape up in our eyes. So let's start with the good. Let's start with a little bit of optimism here. Avs fans can calm down just a little bit. They can calm down just a little bit. Last season was not bad. It wasn't bad. They got to the Western Conference Finals. That's not nothing. I mean, yes, they had a historic season. They finished first in points, first in goals for, first in goals against, second in shutouts, first in penalty kill, and first in shots per game. That's all really good. Nathan McKinnon got his first Rocket Richard. Martin Necas got his first 100-point season. Cale Makar was third in the team in scoring, and he only played 75 games. And Scott Wedgwood played really well. Was it padded a little bit? Maybe. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he finished first in both goals against average and save percentage, with a .921 save percentage and 2.02 goals against. A 2.02 goal against average. Okay. I'll pass it to you. You can tell me what you think about the positive. My viewpoint of the positive before we move on to the bad. I want you to say good things about my team.
So, with the Colorado Avalanche, here's what I will say. They had a tremendous season. Everybody, including myself, was anticipating them making a deep run, and they did. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. They were led mainly by the presence of Makar. Makar was a dynamic force in the playoffs and led them throughout the entire year. Obviously, Necas and McKinnon had great years as well. I mean, anytime somebody scores, 50 goals, you can't overlook that. And they were teetering. McKinnon and Kucherov and McDavid were all teetering and fighting for that number one spot for point total over the entire year. And it just seemed like the appetite for this team was insatiable.
Yeah.
And that led to one of the most memorable regular seasons that has ever been recorded in Avalanche history.
Yeah.
That is the good of what that's what I'll say on the good part.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. And there is a lot of, like, Gabe Landeskog's comeback. That was huge as well. A huge factor. They brought Nazem Kadri back. That was big for morale for the team. There was a lot of good. I think there was one insufferable bad point to this team, though. And we can move on from the good because I know you got more bad to say. So let's go to the bad. My key point to this team is the power play. And it showed against Vegas. It showed bad against Vegas. And Vegas has a good penalty kill. I'm not going to take away from Vegas's penalty kill. But whenever you have the firepower that the Avalanche have, it is inexcusable to be 27th in the league on the power play throughout the regular season. That is inexcusable. Hackstall was the assistant coach that was brought in after the previous season where they were bad on the power play. And he brought in the number one penalty kill. So I am not going to put this on Hackstall. This is on the players. They have to get out of whatever funk they're in and produce, because it's on them. Hackstall brought in the number one penalty kill. I'm sorry, that's something to me.
So, yes, and that was something that plagued them throughout the entire playoffs, was the fact that they just couldn't seem to win those games that were close or make their presence known, especially when it came to Vegas on the power play. It just seemed like, how is this team not performing on the power play? You have some of the most prolific people in the league on one line together for 2 minutes straight playing keep away, and they can't seem to bury it. That was very frustrating for me to even watch. I'm not an Avs fan.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing with the Avs was you write down names on a piece of paper, and it all looks pristine, and it all looks like it should add up to something great. And then you build the Titanic, and it still ends up sinking. It's like, how do you course correct when you feel like you've done everything correctly to begin with? Yeah, where is the course correction?
As a GM, you did everything right. You know, you brought in the talent, you brought in the pieces, and you brought in systematically sound pieces that fit into positions. Like, it wasn't that they were just plugging with like Connor. Like, okay, fine. If I had a bunch of Connor McDavids, I'd be fine with that. But it's not like they just go out and just grab a player and slot him in, hoping it works. No, like they went out and got Brock Nelson, who is a great, great center. Great on the defense, great on the offense.
McKinnon, Nelson, Kadri, and what, Drury?
Yeah, Drury. And Drury was a phenomenal fourth line center.
People would kill for that center group, and it's not the same this year.
No. And we can dive into that if you're ready, or if you have something else to say before that.
I'm ready. Let's just get right to it.
So let's look at the key players that the Avs lost. And this is very bad. I'm going to start with Valeri Nichushkin. Pivotal piece to this team.
They're going to miss him for those 20 games he plays.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's where I was going with this.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm happy that you said that. So Nichushkin, the value that the Avs got from Nichushkin, a lot of Avs fans are really upset about it. I actually think it was pretty good. He's a player that cannot play a full season. So they got 2026 second round pick, 2027 third round pick, and a 2028 fifth round pick. And Nichushkin over the past few seasons has been really close to a point per game player, but this last season, not so much. He didn't play very good last season. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I want to say he had like 40 points in like the most games he's ever played for the Avs, in like 70 games. How does your production go down when you play more games? I don't really understand how that happens. So in my opinion, this was a contract dump, and I think that they got a lot of value out of it for what it was. Oh, and he had a really rough series against Vegas. He wasn't great against Vegas at all. I don't know why. I don't know. But him on the penalty kill. Okay, yeah. Real quick, him on the penalty kill, he will be missed. He was a great penalty killer.
Yeah.
So that'll suck. But Jack Drury.
That one stings a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Stings.
His skill. So a little bit on Drury. He was brought in with the trade with the Hurricanes for Mikko Rantanen. He came in with Martin Necas. Huge depth piece. He was a face-off master. He was phenomenal in the face-off. 57.8% in the regular season. He was 68% in the playoffs.
They got Necas and they got Drury.
Yeah,
they did pretty
good.
They did
move.
Pretty good.
It's not bad.
Pretty good, yeah.
Now I miss Mikko Rantanen. I wish they could have kept him. I love Martin Necas. I really like Jack Drury. I wish they could have kept Rantanen. I would have preferred that outcome, in all honesty. But Jack Drury, great depth centerman, great on the faceoff, two-way play. His two-way play was great, and his special teams value. Another special teams player that we're going to miss on the penalty kill. So that's not a good trend for me. We went from having the number one penalty kill, and I'm worried about where it's going to go now. Losing Jack Drury and Valeri Nichushkin.
And fair.
And did you have any thoughts on Jack Drury that you wanted to share?
No, I was. Can we move on to kind of what we're thinking this core is going to produce in the next season, and where we feel like they'll land?
Yeah. Right before we move on to that, my biggest fear for the Avs is their aging core. And you kind of said that with the core.
That's what I was, yep.
McKinnon's 30, Lekkonen's 31, Landeskog's 33. It's not terribly old. And they have a lot of young pieces around them. And Cale Makar, he's only 27. Martin Necas is only 27. Kadri's older, but well, we don't need to get too much into that. But I think that's probably my biggest concern is players like McKinnon, they don't taper off the way that other players tend to. Mm-hmm. But Lekkonen, I'm a little worried about Lekkonen. I feel like this season wasn't his best.
Yeah. Let me say something and give you a chance to defend your team. Okay.
Okay.
So when it came to the playoffs, they were cruising. They were destroying. I mean, they went right through the Wild that
Yeah.
had just gotten Hughes. And so that was posed to be their biggest obstacle was the Wild. And when they went through the Wild, everyone thought, oh my God, they're just going to steamroll Vegas. At least that's what most people thought, excluding Vegas fans, right? They
Right.
called it. They called it, sadly enough.
Well, I don't know.
But
Calling a sweep though, I mean, I don't
that was,
know.
yeah, that was a little lucky. But here's my point. The Avalanche had a incredible regular season and postseason until they didn't. And so two things. I feel like they got worn down from trying to be perfect and they just wore this team down to nothing. And that's why you started to see McKinnon, McCarr's injured, all these guys aren't performing like you would think. My other point is, do they have the gumption when they get punched in the mouth to get back up? They're not used to being the recipient of the kind of beatdown that Vegas gave them. And we didn't see that killer instinct when they got backed in the corner. They let them go 2 games ahead on home ice, in which would have pissed me off.
Yeah.
It probably pissed you off. And then we didn't see that retaliation. We didn't see that dynamic play come to the forefront. So what is your take on that? Do you think that was just a tired team, or do you think that was a team that's just not used to losing together and rebounding?
Yeah. So I wanna preface your question. I want to answer with, what did I text you right after they lost game 2? I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, I think we're going to have to take a pause from the podcast for a minute.
You're not pausing right now, are you?
I'm calling it. We're done.
I'm done.
No, you make a really good point. So I look at the way that they played against Vegas very similar to the way that they play on the power play. They just didn't capitalize. Like, because they have shown that they can fight back from this. I mean, okay, so let's go back to the 21-22 season. No, the 2021 season where they lost to Vegas in the playoffs. They lost second round. I believe they were up 2-0, and then Vegas came back and reverse swept them. They came back the next season, had a phenomenal season, and then they won the cup. I can see this team fixing their problems. I can see it happen. And they come back next season. Maybe they don't have the run that they had this past season, this phenomenal 121 point season, which a lot of Avs fans are ignoring the fact that we just had. It was a great season. And I think they can come back and they can punch back. I think they can fight back. Maybe they don't wear themselves out in the regular season, because I think fatigue did play a massive role, because they were grinding through this season. They were mowing down everybody. And then look at Carolina, who strategically placed their punches. They didn't cripple themselves by playing the game that the Avs played. They were very strategic with the way they played, and they won the cup. And I think the Avs, I think they can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And why don't we end it there? I just wanted to add, we kind of joke, like tongue in cheek, that Bednar, he's such a perfectionist too, and so is the leadership of McKinnon. That guys, let's have a little fun here. We're let's go into this one a little bit more loose. And I mean, we would joke that Bednar would probably scold them if they lost a face-off. It's like, yeah, we won the game 7-2, but you gave up the puck on that board battle in the second period. Right. And we're joking about that, but no, the expectation's perfection.
It's so true though, and it's really frustrating because that's what I've been saying for the past 4 seasons now. They got rid of their goal song, Blink 182. They got rid of their goal song, and I just feel like that season where they won the cup, they were having way too much fun, and it worked out great. Like,
Yeah.
look at every team that wins the cup. Just have fun. That's really easy to say. The teams that win the cup typically have the most fun because they're winning. But
Fair.
I don't know. I agree with you entirely, and that I've been like trying to hammer that out for years now. Just go out and try to have fun with it. I don't know.
I think that's a good way to end the podcast, unless you have any parting thoughts.
No. This has felt good.
A little bit of therapy for Tyler.
Improve the power play. They should at least be top 5. There is no reason that they can't be a top 5 power play.
That's true. You make that one tweak, maybe it would have been a different series with Vegas.
I'm done.
With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, join onto our channel. We appreciate all the support. We hope you like this video, and we will catch you next week.